Hey, so today we're trying a Pinot d'Orny. This is a red grape variety from native to the Loire Valley in France. And this particular one comes from near the town of Angers in the Anjou region of the Loire Valley. This is made by Damien Bureau. And Damien Bureau is a natural wine producer or low interventionist wine producer who tends to go for traditional old school grape varieties which aren't as appreciated perhaps or grown as much in the Loire as they used to be. So there's not a lot of Pinot d'Orny in the Loire Valley, but there's a little bit, and it tends to make light, refreshing style reds. This particular wine is Damien Bureau's La Poivrotte label. That's the only Pinot d'Orny I believe he makes. And it's a Vin de France, so it can't actually be labelled as a regional or appellation wine. I'm not sure why in this particular case. And it can't actually be vintage labelled either, although this particular one is from the 2014 vintage. So it's about 10.5 or apparently 10 in reality percent alcohol. So a really light kind of refreshing style. This wine is probably one of our favorites in recent years. It's the kind of wine that I really like to drink when you want something light and refreshing and easy. It has a deliciousness factor to it for me. So I do know it. Let's just get into it. As you can see, slightly murky, that natural kind of maybe bit of sediment there, but fairly vibrant, juicy kind of appearance. Best served a little cool. This one has been chilled down to probably around 16 Celsius. If the weather's really hot, you could go cooler. If it's cold, you could go warmer. Depends where you like it, but classic Pinot d'Orny knows bit of vegetation there. There's a bit of like red fruits, like maybe a bit of strawberry, bit of raspberry, something like that. It's more strawberry, I think, for me. And the pepper, which is quite cracked pepper, which is quite a Pinot d'Orny character. I tend to find that on them anyway. It's got a vibrant nose. It's fruity, but it's not just about fruit. It's also about vegetation, like almost a little undergrowthy, not leafy, but there's smells of being down in the grass and the bushes, and a bit of pepper on there, a bit of woodsiness on there. Well, it does. I don't think it sees oak, but it has a kind of vegetational wood to it. Kind of nose that's just juicy, vibrant. Makes me want to just dive in. It just has a delicious palate, like makes you salivate, makes me want to just keep drinking it. It's so light and refreshing at only 10.5% alcohol too. Good acid, really refreshing, good flavours. Not just about fruit, so it kind of keeps your interest with those other kind of vegetation flavours. Past bottles have been a bit more reductive than this, showing a little bit more of a stink to them, a bit more of a kind of not rubber, like somewhere in between, just a little bit like almost boiled veg, but in a nice way. And that pepper quality, that can be a reductive character too, I find. So yeah. Vibrant, juicy, light, easy, refreshing, delicious. Makes you want to keep drinking. It's really easy. You can just smash this back. Nothing too complex, but it has enough interest to keep me wanting to go back anyway. So that's characteristic of Pinot d'Orny from the Loire Valley. If you want to try something light, refreshing, a little bit different in the red spectrum, bit lower alcohol, good acid. Then try a Pineau Donny from the Loire Valley, and Damien Bureau's La Poivrotte is a great way to go. Pineau Donny from the Loire, try it.
There's florals on this too. Really light sort of,
That's a good point. It's like a strawberry fruit for me, but it also has all the florals, the lift. Sometimes you get those strawberries that are really aromatic, really have floral character to them, and this has that too. There's a fair bit going on actually. I mean, I know I say it's not hugely complex, but
there are certainly simpler wines out there.
Yeah.
And when you get one that's got a little bit going on and is delicious, that's just another bonus.
There's a little bit of tannin too, just gentle kind of grip.
Yeah, it's more astringent than you'd think.
Yeah.
I think for how light it is, and
yeah,
that's
right. So if you like that kind of, if you like the lighter reds, but with just a gentle bit of grip going through, it is it's pretty good for that.
What would you, if you were going to match this with anything, what do you think it could work with?
Food-wise, I suppose most people probably go like the aperitif style route with it. So maybe you'd just have little nibbles, maybe some cured meats. I think the meat kind of, the protein direction is a good way to go. You could probably do some hard cheese, but I think meat's actually probably better. You could probably even push it out to something like salmon or, tuna or something like that.
Salmon steak, tuna steak.
Yeah.
I feel like really thin slices like prosciutto and that would work well because you wouldn't get too much meat with a single sip.
Yeah, that's right. You could probably even do something like sushi with it, to be honest. I think there are a lot of directions you could go. For me, I think it's the kind of wine where it wouldn't necessarily work fantastically with much, but it would work really easily with a lot of things. Like, it wouldn't clash with a lot of foods, but you might not have a heavenly food wine matching experience either, but that's fine.
It's not a wine that needs food though.
No, exactly. You can just knock it back by itself. Yeah.
It's interesting. I agree with what you said. This is quite a lot less funky than previous bottles of this vintage we've opened. So do you think maybe it's a wine that really sort of deserves to be opened within a certain time after bottling to show its best potential?
Well, I don't think the reductive character is related to that.
Right.
But I do think that it's a wine that is best served probably, opened relatively soon after it's been bottled. Like, within a couple of years, you'd probably... I could be wrong. I mean, maybe some people would like it with some aged character on it. I think the beauty of this style of wine is its refreshment, its youthful vibrancy, the fruit that's there, the florals that are there. They're probably just going to fade with time, so you'd rather drink it straight up.
Yeah, it's sort of hard to imagine how it would age.
Well, I'd have to try that. But
it's so delicious young, you could be wasting a bottle.
Yeah, exactly. Why bother aging it? Just drink it.
This particular one, I think I've maybe found a similar element on previous bottles, but particularly standing out in this one, I get a lot of ruby grapefruit. Like heaps of pink grapefruit.
Yeah, that's true actually. I get that definitely. I find a lot of the non-interventionist or lower interventionist natural wine producers, particularly the Loire, reds actually, often have that
a grapefruit quality.
Yeah, for me, a pink grapefruit or ruby grapefruit quality to them. This
has even got a little bit of the bitterness of... There's just a very slight bitter edge there. That's just like grapefruit bitterness. Yeah,
I think that's what makes it so great on the palate, is because you actually have all of these different flavours. There's a little bit of... It's very savoury, but it's... So it doesn't have much sweetness, but it does have good acidity, the sourness. It does have a slight bitterness to it, just very gentle. It does have a bit of grip, so you got texture there. It does have a lightness to it. It does have these different flavours, so you've got a spectrum going on
And some of the bottles, even the acid, maybe not so much this bottle, but some of the bottles have an acid that's got the effervescent quality. So it sort of feels spritzy when you first take sips. Which is nice.
Yeah, particularly when they're younger. Obviously, this was probably bottled in early 2015, I would imagine. So it's actually had at least a couple of years in bottle, I would think. So it's probably lost any slight spritz it had. Yeah, but...
Tell us about the price point in Australia, at least.
What is it here? I think it's about 45 Australian dollars retail, which I think is pretty good for it actually, if you're into that kind of style. Yeah, it's one of the better natural light style Loire reds I've had, and I do really like that kind of style. Yeah, juicy, easy deliciousness.
The funk on the fresh pour.
There is, yeah. There's a touch of funk to it.
Some of them are funkier, some are less. A little bit of
Bottle variation.
Do you think? Yeah.
Yes, there certainly is. That's what you get with a natural wine. But I think that kind of adds an element of interest for me. Not. Sometimes it's nice for there not to be consistency because it's a different experience every time.
Slight reinterpretation
Slightly different,
each time.
And it's not so different that this isn't
it's
that wine.
unrecognisable.
Yes, it's still that wine. It just has slightly different inflection to it. Slightly less or more floral, slightly less or more reduction, slightly. Sometimes they're a bit more earthy, maybe. A bit more like smell of the soil. Other times the fruit is maybe a little more towards cherry than strawberry, or things like that.
Have you tasted any of Damien Bureau's other wines,
No.
or can you get them in Australia, do you think? Or have that you've seen?
I'm not sure. Not sure whether you can.
Do you know much about his philosophy? How natural does he go? Does he do the horn with the shit in it?
I'm not sure if he's biodynamic, but he's pretty non-interventionist, so I don't think he uses any sulfur at all. If he does it, it's only just a tiny bit of bottling, apparently. And this wine, I believe he whole cluster ferments. He basically just shoves it in a tank, all that fruit, adds a starter, but it's not a cultured yeast. He's obviously he's taken some fruit earlier from a different grape variety or something, and then got a ferment going, and then he adds that to the vat to get the ferment going in the larger vat, and then just leaves it for 2 weeks effectively. He doesn't even do any pigeage, like punch downs or anything. He just leaves it to ferment. So it is non-interventionist in that sense during
basically
the ferment.
Go away on a holiday or something.
Yeah. So yeah, he's pretty far philosophically on that spectrum, non-interventionist, so to speak. Yeah.
But maybe not matching it with the cycles of the moon just yet, or anything.
Yeah,
like
I'm not sure. I don't know that he's biodynamic, but it's possible. I'm just not aware.
So
it's organic at least, but I don't know if he's biodynamic.
Sometimes we've had ones where it's more like a granny nappy shit.
Yeah, that's true.
So if you like pooey sorts of things.
Yeah.
Nana's gone and eaten like a really big spinach curry, and she's blown up this vegetal diarrhea in her like incontinent pads.
Yeah, I'm not sure that the viewers will probably take to that one, but
hey,
actually,
they're the right kind of viewer.
Yeah, true. It's not that spicy either, I should just add. But yes, definitely the spinach is there.
Yeah.
The vegetation is there. The beauty for me about this style is it's just delicious. It has it's something that I think a lot of wine lovers or people who are just interested in drinking, who get a bit geeky about wine, like obviously viewers would be of this kind of show, sometimes maybe forget even. Sometimes it's nice to have a wine which is just really easy to drink, that has this deliciousness factor where you just want to keep sipping it. It's not too heavy. It doesn't like make you tired of it. You know, it's, yeah. And it sounds stupid, maybe, but I actually think a lot of drinkers, a lot of wine lovers, they almost move away from that deliciousness factor. The concept of something that isn't necessarily going to blow your mind in terms of its complexity or elusiveness or the harmony, but it's really nice to drink, just really delicious. That's the best thing about this wine. That's what this style does really well, I think. So yeah, if you want to try something with what I think has serious deliciousness factor, certainly does if you like light, refreshing reds, then Damien Bureau's Pineau La Poivrotte. Give it a go.